Hey, I'm John with John Tries DIY. Today's project I'm going to try is resurfacing a Pottery Barn coffee table. It's a Bluestone coffee table, and just through normal use, it's gotten some pretty heavy gouges in the top of it. So I've been doing some research online, and it's suggesting that it can be resurfaced, I think, with mineral oil. So what I've got is just some generic mineral oil, a couple chamois to clean the table first. And the process that I'm going to use is step one, I'm going to test whether or not the mineral oil will actually resurface the table properly. So I'm going to clean it. I'm going to test one of these peripheral scratches out here. It's not particularly deep, so I think it would be a good test just to see if it will actually adequately resurface the table. And then if that looks good and I see some improvement, what I'm going to do next is sand the entire affected area with some fine grit sandpaper, and then a second time with some even finer grit sandpaper. Clean once again, and then resurface with mineral oil. So it should be a fun project. Keep tuning in and we'll see how it goes. Hey guys, so we're back. I just finished applying some mineral oil. These are my two dogs here. And as you can see, it did a really good job. I liked the way it was looking on the one scratch, so I just sort of went for it to see what I would get. I'd say we're about 80% of the way there, but there are still some deep, it's hard to see, there we go, some deeper ones that are like a little bit persistent here. So what I'm gonna do next, now that I know this works, is allow this to set in a little bit further, and then take, I think, like 120 grain and then maybe a 240, resurface some of these deeper scratches, and then do a reapplication of mineral oil. Keep checking back in. Hey, we're back. Just resurfacing the top of this table now. I've got a damp chamois, 220 grit sanding sponge, and a 1000 grit sanding sponge. So I'm working on some of the deeper scrapes here with the 220 just to get the level, like the layer changed basically. And then I'm gonna be smoothing the whole thing out with the wet 1000 grain sanding sponge. Let's see how it goes. Hey, I just wanted to show you guys a little progress update. This is me working with the 220 grain sandpaper, or sanding block, I should say, sanding sponge. Trying to get a good angle where you can see the gouges that I'm working with. There's still some really persistent, deeper scratches. To be honest with you, a lot of this stuff disappeared using the mineral oil application. This is the test that I did, but I think if I can get this down a little bit deeper, just lower the finish down a little bit deeper and buff out some of these gouges, the mineral oil is just gonna look that much better. Some of these are a lot deeper than I thought. I've been working on this for probably about 20 minutes with the 220 grain. This one's barely budged, it looks like. This is a nice deep gouge, which may require another follow-up video when I've got something a little bit more potent for sanding it. I think it's gonna be better. I've been working on it for quite a while. It's smoothed out a lot. It'll probably take that mineral oil much better than it did the first time around, and hopefully reduce the visibility of it until I can get back at this with a better, maybe a power tool, like a little orbital sander, or maybe just starting with like an 80 grit or 120 grit or something like that to get down a little bit deeper, a little bit more quickly. Yep, so I'm gonna finish up, maybe do another 10 minutes working on some of these more minor scratches, and then do a coat of mineral oil and then show you guys what the finish looks like. Okay, done with the sanding now. Spent about 20 minutes, 25 easy with the 220, and then good 10 minutes to polish it up with 1000 grit wet sanding sponge. This is where we got to with it. So let me just see if I can, still some fairly significant or prominent scratches, but that's without the mineral oil application. But this is where we got to with the sanding. A lot of this smaller stuff is seriously diminished, should disappear hopefully completely with the mineral oil, but there are still some significant primary scratches. Let's see what happens with the mineral oil, and then I'll shoot a follow-up video if I decide to go get some power tools and really put a new finish on this. Definitely much better than when we started. I think we're up to maybe 90% of that factory finish. Just trying to give you guys an idea. I just applied this mineral oil. You can see there are still some scratches when you're up really close and you got the glare in the right direction. They are visible for sure, but pretty good, pretty much where I wanted it. I want to say better than I expected, especially considering I spent maybe an hour on this. Probably not even that much, 45 minutes. Yeah, hope you enjoyed. Hope this was helpful. I couldn't find anything on resurfacing a Bluestone tabletop when I searched YouTube, so hopefully other people find this useful. Give me a comment below with any questions or concerns, or yeah, if you like it. Thanks. Have a good day.